So the story begins in East London, where we all play synth. And here I am walking into the venue in Hackney Wick. There's a sign, so you know where to go. You come through the moody doors. Oh yes, we're definitely in East London. And there are in fact 2 shows. Let's first go to the synth show. As we come through the doors, we are greeted by this amazing room. I love these lights. They're kind of magical lights. We've got everyone on tables. And so all the manufacturers have little tables, and you might hear there's people talking, but there are no speakers. So the show has a kind of headphone policy, and this means that it's a lot less kind of cacophonous. There's Electron, we had Bastel earlier, and here's my mate Tom showing the workshop. And so we have all kinds of different makers, from people like bigger companies like Electron to smaller manufacturers who have single products and, Eurorack modules. There's a nice cross-section of kind of, bigger makers and smaller makers too, all side by side. Everyone has these small little tables. Ableton with the push. And there, the all-important lanyards. You can fill your boots with all the lanyards you can possibly muster.
So it's delay on the delay?
Very cool. Got to have a rose on your synth, haven't you? Love at first sight. Here's RYK Jake. I love his metallic table. Clinical. And here we have some Eurorack makers. That's Nobula and Apollo View. And you can see people bring sequencers and set up the patch, and the actual makers are on hand. So you can ask questions and you're speaking to the person who actually made the thing. Coding, other kinds of technologies, not just sort of obvious like synth or Eurorack modules. Modcaf here showing their amazing project. And Vlad from VPME with the coolest sign ever. Ooh. Let's just add some steps. Thank you. Bye, Vlad. Venus Instruments had an amazing delay, an ALM. And you can see there, 20% off today. Goodness me. These makers have offers. So there is the option of buying things at the show. And a number of the makers would do deals on their stuff so that you can pick stuff up at a deal. That is Don Buchler's signature on that Buchler-inspired thing. Build your own. Very cool. So there's DIY aspects too, and you're going to see more about DIY in a second. Here's Pittsburgh. That's the man himself. Oh, yes, please. That'll be £20,000. Thank you. That's a good sound. Now, over here, we have a very experimental corner. This is Soma. All kinds of weird things. So there's a lot of weird instruments at this show. Things to try, like the Terror that you really never see. And here we have Leaf Audio. We're doing amazing stuff with contact mics. You can see that those tines, you would sort of brush that. Here, there's some gravel. I chatted to the man. He did assure me he didn't bring the gravel from Leipzig, because that would have been inefficient. Ollie was there with books, amazing synthesizer books that he makes. So it's not just synths, it's also books and DIY. And let's go upstairs. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry, yeah. No. Just a guy with the camera. Thanks. Okay, thanks. Okay. Right, let's do a Jack Nicholson. Or is it Danny Lloyd? Down the corridor, and we're upstairs. This is the source distribution area, and they represent lots of brands. So they have Teenage Engineering. Here's my mate, Tom. Hello, Tom. You're right, mate. So you can see they had the Teenage Engineering stuff all set up, and again, all on headphones, no speakers. Dread box. Bit of polysynth action, and obviously everyone uses key steps and stuff, so you can kind of come up and play. Buchler Music Easel. Let's have a touch. Bonk. Bonk, bonk. Excellent. That was a good noise. And then we have our Cheerio keyboards, and whoa! That's the synth zone. Look at it. Amazing. Gotta have lights. Gotta have pot plants. Gotta have more pot plants. And Tom's having a well-earned knee rest. Fair enough, Tom. You've been stood up all day, mate, as well as bringing all this stuff from a warehouse in West London and having to take it back when the show ends. Bye, everyone. Toilets are down there. If you need a wee, you can go down there. But let's head downstairs, shall we? Let's go outside. Because this show is not just about the gear. There is a whole side of this show that has talks, some of which were hosted by yours truly. In fact, all of them were. I hosted some talks with Lula York, Tom Whitwell, Seraine Senevarathne. That's a 101. Whoa, love an SH 101. And also Electron and Tom himself. Now, by the magic of editing, let's go to another part of the day where the performances were on. This was the talk area and the performance area. It's really small but fun. There was such good musicality. There was some amazing performances. And on this other side, we have a place where you can get some beers here on the left. And then this is the DIY area. So you're able to build kits with the help of experts. And so folks were in here spending the day soldering together kits with expert advice, people on hand to help you get your kit to work. But again, via the magic of editing, we'll go back down the stairs. And this is the pedal show. So there's a whole of the show. And I must say, possibly a nicer looking room. This is a beautifully wood panelled space. And here we find all the pedal makers. It's like Eurorack, but for guitars. There's Kenan. Hello, David.
No, I'm afraid not. No.
That's a big knob.
It's the sound technology is our amplifiers.
Now, you can see that people were bringing their guitars and basses to play their own instruments. This is Chase Bliss, by the way. I had to go on that little thing there, the chompy. Very cool. That was wicked. And so, yeah, you can bring your guitar, bring your bass, come down and chat to everyone and just try your instrument through pedals. It's just such a good idea. So folks were walking around with their guitars and basses and actually getting some real world understanding of what the pedals would do to their instrument. Very cool. Where can you really do that other than somewhere like this where they've got stacks like this? You can just rock up and try them. I had to say I was quite attracted to the one that looked like a tin can. What does that do? Do I need that? Yeah, definitely need one. They even had guitars. I believe those are guitars. Look at this. Look at these beauties.
It's going to sound like a typical...
Well into that stand as well. Guys here were selling True Tone power supplies. I actually bought a power supply from them and I got 20% off because, of course, you can buy things here too. So get yourself a new little toy.
It's kind of similar thing than, let's say,
This is definitely the most professional looking of all the stands. Many different approaches to stand design were employed at this show.
20% off at the moment.
Do you hear that? 20% off. This is Ranger Effects. I do believe this is the man himself. Hello, nice to see you. It was the man himself. And yeah, there were also some gear presentations. Mr. Ranger Effects also did a presentation, as did Electron too. So there were talks, gear presentations, and performances as well as the DIY side. So it's really nice. And again, I just want to stress, I was, and I'm not just saying this, I was genuinely blown away by the performances, the standard of what everyone was doing. There were some really creative and interesting approaches. And because it's quite small, you can really get up and have a look at the stuff, chat to the people afterwards, met a lot of people, and made a note of everyone's Instagram. I saw a lot of folks doing that, hey, what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram? And sort of just community building, networking, and getting to know other musicians in the area. I love the way they were set up on the bar here. No draft drinks, I'm afraid, served. But you could get beer cans. Don't think that an open pint on that bar would have been a good idea, in all fairness. And here's Universal Audio. I have a couple of these.
There you go.
So good. I would... Hello, mate. I would like to catch them all, as they say. The other pedals are available. As you can see, there's an entire room full of pedals. Man, so much choice. But, again, you can actually try them for yourself. I've so many times where I've actually got to try something when I thought I'd made a decision, but trying it in the flesh, I'm like, oh, I actually like the other one. I didn't know I would. It was only when I tried it. Now, did I mention that the show is free? That's right. Synth and Pedal Show is free to attend. Come down, and we'll see you next year.